For this episode of Haltech Trackside, we've travelled from Sydney all the way across the continent of Australia to Perth, and then because that wasn't far enough, we drove another 4 hours to get to here, Albany, for RaceWars. Runway events are becoming an increasingly popular form of motorsport, both overseas and here in Australia. The concept's a simple one. Get a runway at an airport, get your car, and go as fast as you can down to the end. Now, RaceWars here in Western Australia is the biggest one we've got in Australia. It's split into 4 sections. We've got roll quarter mile, roll half mile, and then on Sunday, we've got standing half mile and standing 1,000 metres. There's a lot of action and there are some fast cars.
The beauty of an event like RaceWars is that it provides competitors with opportunities to race side by side with a mate, a rival, or to just go flat out for top speed. Let's face it, what car guy hasn't wondered how fast they could go when presented with a long, open, straight, flat stretch of road and a heavy right foot? Plenty have. And that's why there were lots of drivers and lots of fast cars at Albany Airport, eager to put their machines to the test. The event is open to just about any type of car imaginable, and we were blown away by the sheer diversity in cars. There was no shortage of wild and interesting engine setups, like this crazy compound turbo system in this WTF Auto Toyota Supra. Even this shed-built 1980 Volvo running a sturdy iron block LS under the bonnet. Driver Andrew Strickland got the flying brick up to a staggering 292 kilometers an hour over 1,000 metres.
Runway events are often dominated by Japanese cars, lots of GTRs, lots of Supras, that sort of thing. But that doesn't mean we don't get to see some tough Aussie muscle. Greg Christie actually won the quarter mile roll drags with this example yesterday. It's obviously built for speed, not for looks, but it runs an elite 2500 and what did he get to? 247 kilometres an hour. It's pretty quick. Okay, we've run into our mate Aaron from ASG Motorsport, who's possibly come even further than we have, all the way from the Gold Coast.
Yeah, it's about 4,900 kilometres, I think.
That's some distance. So you're here with this orange VZ ute called Backdraft.
Yeah, I originally built this ute for a customer quite a long time ago. I think it was about 2008 when we first built this ute. Warwick Pike bought the ute as an unfinished project and joined us as a workshop and a friend to finish the project, build it and get it running. It was a little bit unique when we did this, and quite a lot of people asked the questions of where's the turbo?
Yeah, because it's called Backdraft, I'm guessing, because the turbo is in the back. Yeah.
Yeah, and look, the naming of the ute all came from Warwick's conception of wanting to sort of do that setup. People visually look at a rear mount setup or a mid mount setup like this and go, oh, it'll be laggy because they see a distance. But the reality is that exhaust pulse takes within 0.4 of a second to get to the back of the vehicle, so there is no lag, really.
Yeah.
There is nothing there that would impact the drivability or the raceability of a car by having the turbo rear mounted in the way of lag. But the benefit that we have is we get so much engine bay temperature out of the engine bay. It keeps the intake manifold, the engine bay, everything a lot cooler, and we don't have any overheating issues with transmission. Transmission fluid temperatures going through the roof while you're doing longer passes on events such as this, as 1,000 metres. So we put a 16 injector plasma intake on it, and it converted the car to methanol. And this year the car's been running really, really good. We made 1,008 horsepower at the wheels on the rollers on a Dynadynamics dyno at only 15 pounds of boost, just on the gate. And we've just come here ready to just sort of start pushing the boost into it and you know, seeing how the car goes. Tested on Wednesday at the Motorplex. Unfortunately, the car went 11.0 just driving out, as you see it, at 150 mile an hour. And on the second pass, I told Warwick that he'd only used 62% of the throttle. So he said, "Oh, I want to have another go then." And we went back and he had another run, and it knocked the tyre off pretty hard in top gear and he couldn't catch it. Spun around, clipped the wall, hence our little matte black front that we're sporting for this weekend. But you know, a few sleepless nights, and we've pulled the rails straight, put a front end on it, and we're here to race. And you know, he's getting his confidence back and really starting to get into the groove of it. Yesterday we went 286 kilometres an hour with a maximum of, I think, 52% TPS and around 12 pounds of boost.
Oh wow! So there's plenty left in it.
There's a lot left in the car, and you know, we're not here to brag or try and pinpoint that this is going to be a super fast car, because as anyone knows, trying to go fast in a ute is really a quite difficult thing. We don't have any weight over the tyres, we've got no sandbagging in it or anything like that at the moment. But the primary objective here was for Warwick to crack the 300. So if we can crack 300 kilometres an hour today, we're going to achieve our goals.
That's a win.
And that's a win for us after everything we've been through. And from there, we'll look at trying to be a lot more competitive next year.
Yeah, cool. Tristan from WTF Auto's here. Mate, WTF Auto, you've got a lot of cars here this weekend at RaceWars.
Yeah, we've brought down 16 cars with us, including this spectacular Camry.
Tell us a bit about the Camry. You've had it on track?
Yes, we took it out one race. We lost, unfortunately, but the car was going very fast in the top end. Unfortunately, not a lot of grip out here on the runway surface.
For a front-wheel drive car.
Front-wheel drive car, that's right. Even the Mickey Thompsons, this thing was spinning up the tyres in fourth gear. So it's got the power, maybe not the grip.
So, sketchy ride.
Very sketchy ride. When it did grip, it didn't quite know what lane to be in.
Oh,
but
wow.
I managed to wrestle it and keep it on my side of the track.
How fast did you manage to go?
To be honest, I don't know. The timing equipment was past the end of the race, so I'd already slowed down quite a lot by the time we went through the trap. So I trapped 220, but I'd say we were about 255.
Okay. That's moving for an old Camry.
Yeah, that's moving for old. It could be Australia's fastest Camry, I don't know.
I'd say it probably is. So, Camry aside,
yes.
the other WTF Auto cars have actually had a really good weekend.
Yeah, we're having a wonderful weekend. The Supras are doing really well. Between the two fastest Supras, the green one and the yellow one, there's a bunch of records they're holding nationally.
Okay. Yep.
In terms of fastest H-pattern gearbox, fastest true street tyre, not drag radial times and things like that. So we're really excited. We've accomplished a lot of things.
Excellent. Well, man, best of luck for the rest of the weekend. We'll catch up
Thank
with you later.
Awesome.
The huge variety of cars made for some odd pairings and some very surprising results. South Australia's Wheel All Racing brought their R35 GTR and set a new top speed record of 351 kilometres an hour over 1,000 metres.
Mason, give us a bit of a rundown on Cornfed.
Yeah, mate, it's the 77 RA23 Celica. I've had it for about 8 years. Started off with a 1G GTE from Queensland from a fellow toy modder, and daily that for about 2 years when I was an apprentice electrician. Unfortunately crashed it and then decided, let's go 1J.
So, yeah, that's a fair reason to step it up.
Yeah, mate,
Yeah,
yeah.
because that's what you need after a crash, more power.
Yeah, well, that's absolutely. Yeah. So I've always wanted a 1J. There was one in Perth when I was a kid, and I've always wanted one. That's left WA now, so this is currently the only street registered engineered
Okay.
Celica with a 1J in WA at the moment.
And then what have you been doing at RaceWars here? What sort of times have you been running?
Yeah, speed-wise, we did a 221 in the 400.
Okay.
And we did a 261 in the rolling 800 yesterday.
So it doesn't hang about, it's a quick car.
Yeah, pretty quick, mate.
Yeah.
Yep. It's tuned by WTF Auto,
Yep.
Tristan. He tuned it and took it for a lap. It made just over 500 at the tyre, and he decided to take it for a lap, bit of a run, and he said he will never drive it again.
So Reece, I found you and you've bought to RaceWars a Magna.
I have. It is a Magna.
Why?
This is my first car,
Right.
and it got me into the car scene. And ever since then, ever since I was 17, I've just been building.
You've done a lot of work on this. There's a fair bit. It's like sheet metal intake, your turbo. It's what have you done with it? I actually believe you've just broken the front wheel drive record.
Yeah, front-wheel drive national. So it's the Australian.
The Australian record?
So national Australian record for front-wheel drives over 1,000 metres.
And how fast did you go
I went 276.
in a Magna?
Yep.
Okay, so tell us a bit about what's going on under the bonnet here. What have you done?
Yeah, cool. No worries. So it's run by Aptaptronic, an old original ED40 something C.
Yep.
Yeah, so we got a 67, 66 turbo on the front of it, running by a 44mm wastegate. Forged pistons from Wilsco, I think that's how you say it. HBM rods, balanced crankshaft, port and polished heads. We're running 2000cc injectors on E85.
So it's a full built motor.
Full built. I mean, I could go on.
Yeah.
I could go on.
What sort of power are you getting out of it?
Well, we couldn't run it in fourth gear, so we're going to go with fifth gear numbers.
Okay.
And that was 622
620 horsepower
horsepower.
Yes.
Yep. At 27 psi.
through the front wheels.
For the front wheels.
What sort of box are you using to keep that together?
Yes. Well, I'm using a 5-speed Evo dog box.
Okay.
That's sequential, which I got from the Netherlands.
Right.
And that's been awesome.
I don't imagine that just bolts on.
No, it doesn't actually. So I'm very lucky that Mitsubishi don't really like redesigning stuff.
Right.
So we got the Magna Bear housing actually bolts onto the rear of a standard Evo housing. And so I did that, and things I had to change was I had to go from a pull clutch to a push clutch, and I had to change get a custom crown gear.
Okay.
So I could put my diff in, and just get a bearing put in, and there you go. It fits right in.
And it goes, and it holds it, and you've got the national record.
Yes, I know, I'm stoked.
Congratulations.
Thanks very much, man.
The ITP Supra muscled its way into second place in the VMAX Challenge with a trap speed of 338 kilometers per hour, making it the fastest rear-wheel drive car in Australia over 1,000 metres. Jose also took out third place in the half-mile roll-on drag racing.